So traditionally, if it's a back and bicep workout, simple pull day, I'm not gonna generally start with the curling movement. The only reason we're going to today is because we're gonna do a collaboration next week with Barbell Brigade, and specifically strict curl was one of the movements that they wanted to cover. And I haven't personally strict curled since I competed at CT Fletcher's event about a month ago. So I need to get back in the movement, kind of reintroduce my body to it. So we're gonna start with some light strict curls here. The biggest thing with strict curl, why it's so hard is because we don't understand how much momentum or assistance that we can give ourselves when we're doing a freestanding curl. If you think about it, even if you're trying to be super strict with form, even at the top, your shoulders, because of the weight counterbalancing you, are forced to lean back a little bit so that you can stay on top of your center of gravity. When you lean back, that pull actually assists with the majority of the weight at the hardest part of the curl itself. Once you get to about here, when it becomes predominantly bicep, that's when the curl gets really hard. What you're gonna see with the strict curl, most of the time when people fail, it's when the bicep takes the majority of the load about right here. And so this is generally when most people are able to lean back a little bit and bring it up to the top. So even if I'm not swinging my hips like this, even something like this can allow me to get much more weight than I would, say, if I was strict with my back against the wall. So I believe that there's a lot of benefits to freestanding curls. I incorporate that in my training. Strict curls is specifically a competition lift for me. So you're gonna see me approach it the same way I would squat, bench, or deadlift. Now, when it comes to the strict curl itself, one of the things that you wanna think about early on is how to load your forearms so that your wrists don't give out during the lift. So when I'm grabbing the bar here, whether it's a wide or narrow grip, I prefer narrow, I'm gonna curl my forearms up like this. Make sure that my forearms are bearing load at the bottom here so that when I get towards the top, my wrists aren't likely to start flailing and I fail because the bar brings me back down because it's leveraging against my wrists. I wanna load my forearms by curling here, keep that curl. My head, shoulders, and butt are against the wall. My legs are straight out, and then I'm going to basically just, like I said, curl from my hips all the way up to my shoulders. And the goal to maximize efficiency is to get your elbows driven underneath the bar as quickly as you can. Think about it as like a reverse clean. So I'm here, when I'm curling up, my goal is to get my elbow underneath my wrist as fast as possible. Here, down. One commonality that you'll see between all the curls that we're doing is that if we're maximizing range of motion and trying to build strength at the very longest point of the bicep head here, I'm gonna need to flex my triceps. So whether I'm doing a freestanding curl, hammer curl, we're gonna show ATG preacher curls later, at the bottom of each rep, I'm purposely flexing my tricep so that the bicep head elongates as much as physically possible. Here. So warming up real fast again. Load the forearms, come up to a strict position, down, flex, up, flex, up, flex, up. And to keep it as close to your center of gravity as possible, keep it as close to your body as possible. So don't let it come out here. Keep it close. Keep it close. Good, we'll have Urban go. So at the bottom there, I want you to curl, like think about doing a wrist curl, like for forearms. Hold that squeeze, like we were arm wrestling, remember that? Yeah. And now retract your shoulders back. Squeeze your lats so that when you start curling, your lats are also going to assist in guiding the weight up as it should. Good, and think, flick your elbows underneath your wrist as quick as possible. Exactly. Good. Good. Strict curl can be done as a power movement. That's why you see it in competition. It can also just be done as a way to further isolate your biceps. A lot of times the argument is with the freestanding curl or dumbbell curl is at what point is it considered cheating? Like I said, you'll see people swing at their hips or you see people lean back, and it's very hard to gauge what a true lift or a true perfect rep is. If you want to take momentum out of the equation so that it's not a question, put your back against the wall, make sure your head, shoulders, and butt stay on the whole time. And what you'll see, it's going to be a lot harder, but you'll have the actual true accurate gauge of strength and just actual muscle engagement at the same time too. That way you know you're not using any of your back or your hips. It's truly all on your arms, your upper body. You will feel a little bit in your shoulders, your pecs are gonna squeeze. Like I just said, your lats are naturally gonna assist because your arms are moving forward. But outside of that, your bicep is doing the majority of the work. That's a goal. So let's start going up in weight. Good. Yeah, keep those forearms engaged. Yeah, readjust at the bottom if you need to. 1 sec. Okay, go ahead. Okay, let's go 2. Good. Very good. Nice. Good. Again, time and place to go full out, say AMRAP it with curls, but most like other lifts is there's very few times where going all out, say either max out on 1 rep or doing a max out set with reps is going to be advantageous for training, especially long term. So majority of sets, if I'm not on a specific program for strict curl, I'm generally playing within a RPE 7 or 8 range, basically meaning that at the end of the majority of my sets, I generally will have about 2 or 3 reps left in the tank. I'd rather increase my overall work capacity by adding more sets to that RPE 7 or 8, as opposed to just emptying my gas tank all in one set. Also too, if you think about it, since we are doing biceps first, if we do want to be efficient with our back exercises later, I want to save a little bit of juice in the tank so that my back exercises don't necessarily dwindle in the process. So, leg straight, load the forearms. I like to look up once my head hits the wall. That'll keep me from falling forward. And we're gonna keep Irving on the 25s here, and then I'm gonna move myself up to the 45s to start my working sets. The bar, I believe, weighs, I wanna say 32 or 33, something like that. Don't quote me. It's a Gopher curl bar. The different bars, generally most curl bars in competition without collars weigh about 30. So with collars on, it'd probably be about like 31 and a half, 32, something like that.
That one felt a little bit better. Felt like I was able to load it. The struggle point that I had was, like Jimmy said, I had a hard time with my wrist at first when he introduced that movement or that part of the technique with it. And when I went heavier, I started to struggle with, with the heavier weights because of the fact that my forearms and my wrist would flex down, so I couldn't finish the top of that set. So ever since I started implementing that, I feel a lot stronger and I feel a lot more comfortable and also a lot more consistent doing this movement as well. So far so good.
So we got 225s on each side here. So with the bar, I'm assuming this is probably weighing about 132, 133, something like that. So again, I'm gonna go until I feel about I have like 2 or 3 reps left in the tank. Gonna do that for about 3 sets. I'm about 10 days out of the collaboration with Barbell Brigade, so I need to reintroduce the movement to my body, but I also don't want to max it out to where I'm still recovering by the time I actually need to perform well with this movement. So